Okay, hi guys. I think I'm live now. If you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything is good, please do let me know in the chat. Once that everything is good, then we'll start today's session. Today's session is a discussion about what average student should do to get into top B schools. That basically is the plan for today. It is also a way of looking at whether average students can actually get into IIMs, top IIMs. One thing that I think every one of us knows is even somebody who considers themselves an average student. Let us first try to define what an average student is, and then yeah, it is live. Shubham. Good evening, Prashant. Good evening, Sayed. Hi to everyone. So we can actually first start off by defining what an average student is. In my opinion, an average student is somebody who has scored 70 plus in 10th and 12th, and maybe 70 plus in graduation. That is my definition of an average student. Now, if this person is the average student, can that person aim to get into a top institute? Now, somebody who has a 70 percentile in 10th and 12th, one thing is very clear that there will be certain items which are not available to them. It is very, very difficult, probably mathematically impossible for them to get into institutes like, say, IIM Indore or maybe IIM Bangalore. These kind of institutes, I think it will be very difficult for them to get into. On the other hand, if you are looking at institutes like, say, IIM Lucknow or IIM Calcutta, which place a lot of emphasis on CAT score, I think it is definitely all of them are open for you. Uh, Unknown is saying, "Hi sir, can I get additional discount on Krakow crash course if I scored 99 percentile in CAT and XAT last year?" See, anybody who has scored well in CAT, anybody who has scored well in their 10th and 12th, anybody who has a IIM call last year, all of these kind of people are eligible for discounts on our courses. Now that you have mentioned Krakow crash course, we have just started a Krakow crash course today, and this crash course is going to continue till CAT. And in addition to all the videos that we have, where we explain all the concepts, in addition to having book, in addition to having the study room and the daily targets, in addition to all of this, for this Krakow crash course, we have started live classes. So every day from 8 to 9 p.m., we will be having live classes where for the first 30 minutes, we'll be explaining the concepts. And after that, we will be explaining or solving 5 to 6 questions which are based on that particular concept. So, like somebody is asking if you are looking to enroll to it and if you feel that you deserve a discount, mostly there are certain criteria. Based on the criteria, people will be eligible for discounts. Please do send a mail to support@krakow.in, SUPPORT, support@krakow.in with your profile, and we will get back to you with the best possible discount. Uh, Anish Shukla is asking, "Hello, sir. I'm not getting marks in mocks, especially in the BA segment." Uh, this uh, question is asked to me very, very often. It is asked to me by students. It is asked to me by my own content managers. Many people feel that they are not improving in VRC. They tell me that okay, I'm taking a lot of verbal sectionals. I'm doing a lot of RC sets. I'm also. I recommend to people that they should also develop a habit of reading. So they say that I'm doing all of this, but still my score is not improved. Where am I going wrong? Now, if you feel that you're stuck in this kind of a situation where you feel you're not improving, one thing I want to tell you is in verbal, improvement is going to take time. Verbal improvement, I think you won't see immediately. On the other hand, quant, especially certain topics of quant like say arithmetic or quadratic equations or certain elements of algebra, if you understand a concept and if you know a few formulas, if you read a particular formula and that formula comes in the question, immediately you feel that I have improved. That sense of improvement is a lot more immediate in quant as compared to verbal. Verbal, you feel that you're putting in effort, but the improvement is not happening. This is something that people feel quite often. But there is a very famous quote by Bill Gates. What he actually says is people tend to uh, underestimate what can be done in 10 years and always overestimate what can be done in 1 year. So basically, what he means is if you do the right things consistently, you'll see a very big difference over a long course of time. People tend to underestimate how much they can improve over a period of time, which I think is very applicable even in verbal. If you're doing the right things, if you're reading 4 to 5 articles every day, if you're taking 1 or 2 sections, verbal sections every week, if you're solving say 2 to 3 RC sets every day, if you're doing all of this, improvement is inevitable. It is just process. Basically, the output is dependent on the input. If you're giving all the right inputs, output will follow. output might be a little delayed, especially in verbal. There will be a lag effect, but it will definitely follow. You have to believe in that. So that is the advice I'm going to give to somebody who is asking that they're not improving in verbal. Anish, okay. Yashwant Kumar is saying, sir, can you upload this video? This video is live, and I think it will remain on our Crackmo website, so you can watch it even later. We have close to 50 people are watching this stream live. Please do like the stream because I want to get to at least say 60 to 70 likes before the stream ends. Meeraj Chavan is saying, sir, getting good marks in one mocks VRC, scoring very low in another institute mocks. What do you do? But I get good marks when I solve real cat questions. I think that is sufficient. Verbal in general, I feel is lot more subjective as compared to quant or LRDF. So you don't really know whether you are doing poorly or maybe the paper that was set itself is ambiguous. Especially if you're doing well in previous year's CATs in the verbal section, I think you should not feel overwhelmed or you should not panic. Just continue to do the things that I already mentioned on a regular basis. Even if mock scores fluctuate, even if in some institutes mocks you're not doing well and some institutes mocks you're doing well, it doesn't really matter in the long run. What matters is how you perform in actual CAT, and if you're doing well in the CAT previous year's papers, it should not matter. Just one sec, guys. I'll come in 1 minute. I'll switch on some lights and come. Yeah, I've just switched on some lights so that there is more brightness. Gen Z laws don't spam, man. If you spam, I won't answer that question. So let me look at another question. Okay. Atmanand Uday Meshi is saying, sir, time taken to solve each practice questions is enough. But in actual mock, I face difficulty in completing questions within time. I think many people feel this, which I think is mostly because of panic, because of that anxiety during the mock. They tend to underperform in the actual mock. Another way to look at it is when you're practicing without a time, or even if you're putting a timer, I don't think you're practicing 22 questions. Maybe you solve say 3 questions, and every question you give yourself 3 or 4 minutes. You feel that you're doing well. But in the actual mock, let alone the actual examination, it is not just 3 questions. You have to solve 22 questions. So it takes more time. You need more stamina. If you are having the stamina, or if you're doing those questions within the time period, for 3 or 4 questions, that is not sufficient. So you'll have to build upon your stamina. That is one way in which you can improve the attempt rate, where you build up the stamina. Where if you in one particular session, when you're sitting to practice, if you're solving say 3 questions, try to increase it to 5 questions. If you're solving 5 questions in one sitting, that is, you kept your phone away, you kept everything away, and you're sitting and you're practicing. Suppose regularly you practice 5 questions and then go take a break. And to improve your stamina, try to solve 6 questions, try to solve 7 questions. That is one way in which you can improve your stamina, and that will improve your concentration ability. That is one thing. The second thing is you'll have to have that composure. You'll have to maintain that calm. And what I believe in quant especially, you can maintain calm if you're confident of your preparation. If you feel that I have taken so many mocks, I've taken mocks than most of the other people, I've solved more questions than most of the other people. If you believe in that, then I think you, even if you get stuck in a particular question, also you will be able to motivate yourself, or you will be able to back yourself to either get it or go to the next question and solve it. So having that confidence is important. And one thing that I always tell students is it is very difficult to cheat yourself. You can show bravado to anybody else. You can tell your friends that no, I'm going to do very well in CAT. I have working very hard. You can tell this to your friends. You can tell this to your friends. You can tell this to a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you can't lie to yourself. You know whether you're working hard or not. You know whether you're solving a lot of questions or not. And there are two ways of preparation. One is an active way of preparation where you actually solve questions. The other one is a passive way of preparation where you're just maybe like watching videos. Now, subconsciously, you will know that if you're actively solving questions, you'll feel more confident. If you're passively just watching a few videos, maybe chatting with friends, something or the other, chatting with people who are preparing for that, so that you don't feel guilty, you don't feel that you have completely wasted time. If you're doing that in a passive way, you will still feel underconfident. You won't be able to explain why you're feeling underconfident, but you will feel underconfident. So essentially, what I'm saying is you should focus on improving your confidence, and confidence will be improved only if you put in that effort, put in that active effort. Let me look at a few other questions. Please do like this stream, guys. We have only 22 likes. We have 40 people are watching this stream live on YouTube and lot more later. I want to get to at least like say 50, 60 likes for that stream. Can a BA student do great in his career after MBA? I think that is definitely possible. That should not be an issue. A day with Niral is saying how to stop being panicked. I know quant concepts, but I'm not able to do questions. VRC is good, but I'm not able to do one RC in good time. DLR makes me feel bad. One thing that you notice is, especially now that Olympics are happening, you can see certain people panicking. You can see certain sports people panicking. You can see certain sports people not panicking. Or if you're looking at cricket, right, it is a clutch over where you have to really score well on every ball in the last over. Where the bowler is nervous, the batsman is nervous. You will notice that certain people, certain batsmen play better under that nervousness. And for example, we all know that Virat Kohli in general, whenever there is a lot of pressure, he tends to take that pressure, soak in that pressure, and deliver results. Many times I've seen him perform extremely well when the stakes are very high. I always used to wonder why that guy performs so well under pressure. Why doesn't he panic? Because many other people choke, but this guy seems to really perform much better under pressure. Now, when I was trying to read more about him, one of the articles that I read was when he's practicing, okay, in the nets, not just batting or bowling. Even when he's fielding, he used to put in a lot of effort. So when the ball comes to his side, he would jump to make that jump. He would put in a lot of effort to make it stop. And when he would get up and throw the ball, there was swagger in his attitude, which basically says that I'm Virat Kohli. In everything I'm doing, I'm going to give 100%. Now, that kind of motivation, that kind of commitment will translate to other aspects also. He's putting that much effort in fielding in the nets because he wants to improve himself in that aspect because he wants to be a better cricketer. Now, he knows that he's working very hard. So when the clutch time comes, when he's facing the ball, he knows that he has done everything that he can to actually do well there. Then his mind also will be calm. His mind will not be overthinking. Now, if you feel, if a student feels that okay, when the panic starts or when the clutch is happening, many times there are a lot of questions that are happening in our brain. It is not that our brain actually is silent. Okay, when you start panicking, it is because your brain is overthinking. And many times your brain is basically telling you, if on that day I had worked slightly harder, if on that day I had solved maybe a few more questions, maybe if I've taken a few more mocks, then I would be doing better. Whenever you're having these kind of thoughts, that is when I feel you will tend to panic a lot more. And once you start panicking, you will not recover. But say you know, internally you know that you have done the best that you can. You have prepared the hardest that you can, and your mind will be calm. Your mind will say that okay, this is just one question. I'll try to answer it. Most likely I'll get it. If I don't get it, it is okay. I'll go to the next question. Because your mind is telling you that you have worked harder than most of the other people. So you'll tend to do better than most of the other people. Okay, well, Tarun, you're spamming. So unfortunately, I'm not going to answer that. Let me look at another question. Many people are giving me their profile reviews. If you want me to do the profile review, you can definitely do our personal predictor. There is a Krakow personal predictor. You can enter your details, and once you enter your details, you can check your the percentile that would be needed for you to get a good call from the top IIMs. Neil Mulike saying, sir, how to answer gap years I have for UPSC? There are a couple of questions on this. One, I try to answer a generic answer about how somebody who has should be answering their question. The second thing is with respect to gap year for UPSC and then ditching UPSC and coming to CAT, how should they? If you're looking at gap years for UPSC, if you're looking at gap years in general, I think it is okay. The interviewer is not going to judge you too much. Gap year is not the be all or the end all. You can look at it as you're starting off slightly on the defensive. That guy will most likely ask you about your gap year and what you're expecting as an answer is just to see if there are any red flags. If there are no red flags, it should be okay. Now, if you're looking at it from the standpoint of a panelist, that panelist doesn't want to take a risk on somebody who has a red flag. It would be much easier for the panelists to have somebody who has done well in their 10th and 12th, who has done well in graduation and worked for say 2 or 3 years. So there is a lot of stability there. And then who has done well in CAT and came to the interview and comes across as a sound, mature guy who knows what he's doing, why he wants to do it. This is a ideal profile. Now, there will be very few people who have this ideal profile. There will always be deviations. Now, the task of the panelist is to see whether these deviations are a lot or they are small. For example, it can happen that somebody didn't do well in their 10th, but did well in their 12th and their undergraduation, and did well in their job, worked for 2 years, and did well in CAT. And this guy will just say, when he's trying to assess this profile, say that okay, 10th has been a long time back. It doesn't matter. Maybe he was immature at the time. Maybe he was in a different lab medium. Whatever might be the case, he did do well in 10th, but that's okay. He seems to have done well and recovered in his life later. Similarly, if somebody didn't do well in 12th, but did well in 10th, did well in graduation, and again work, I think this seems like okay, there is just one bad spot in his profile. It seems to be okay. People make mistakes, people have highs and lows, so it's okay. When somebody doesn't do well in graduation, then it is an issue. Why is it an issue? Because it is an issue of reasons. He did well in his 10th and he did well in his 12th, but he didn't do well in his graduation. Now he didn't do well in his graduation and he has a gap year. Then there is no redemption. People look for redemption to assess a person's profile. Now, if you are somebody who has done well in 10th, done well in 12th, done well in graduation, and has a gap year, it feels like okay, maybe this guy didn't get a good job. Maybe his starting date was postponed. Maybe he wanted to take care. Maybe he didn't get a job that he liked. So the interviewer can give you some benefit of doubt. But if you are somebody who has done well in 10th, 12th, did not do well in graduation, and has a gap year, there is no redemption story. From the standpoint of the panelist, he doesn't know whether you have recovered from it, whether you have you made a mistake in your graduation, but did you recover from it? Are you now somebody who is trustworthy? Are you somebody who is mature? If you're given a seat, will you do the best possible justice to it? Will you work hard? All of these things aren't out there. So that basically is the issue with the gap year. So if you're looking for a profile and if you're looking for somebody to assess you, assess your maturity, assess how stable you are, a gap year will be an issue. But if there are other things in your profile which will make it less of an issue, then it will be okay. So that is one reason, and especially somebody who didn't do well in their graduation, I would definitely recommend them to work for 2 years, 1 2 years, because then again it feels like okay, graduation is something that happened long time back. After that, this guy worked for 2 years. He seems to be doing well in his job. So again, you will be given a second chance. Voice issue. Voice breaking so bad. Vikas Gangwar, good evening, sir. Okay, I'll try to see, man. Can you hear me now? You can't hear me. Okay, guys, I'll answer a couple of questions before ending the stream. We can hear you. Okay, somebody is saying they can hear. Maybe I'll try to keep the mic closer. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, yeah. See, if you're just asking about your profile reviews, I would say that anybody who's posting the profile reviews, how it looks like, I would want you to check out the Krakow percentile predictor. Use the Krakow percentile predictor, then you'll get a good idea of what percentile you would need to do well in CAT. Mhm. Yeah, I think I'll do this. Maybe I'll just hold the microphone. Let me know if everything is good. थोड़ा fan on कर दो ना. Audio is not breaking. Yeah, man, audio I think is not doing too well. I don't know why. Okay, let me look at some other question. Getting inside the collar. I'll just hold the mic outside. That should be fine. Yes, it is perfect now. Okay, cool. I'm just holding the mic, so I think that should work. Okay, somebody with Niral. Sir, I did MS in mathematics. How to justify that why I want to do MBA in marketing? Also, I used to do have a registered business. Can I connect MSc in marketing in it? One thing I would tell you is, before you justify it to somebody else, you should be clear as to why you want to do it. Now, many people do MBA to get a good job. I think that is fine. I think that is a fine enough reason, but you should be clear as to why you're doing an MBA. Because MBA is something that normally you can do only once in your life. So you should also time it properly. You should be very clear about you should be clear about why you're doing it and when you're doing it. Once you are clear about it, the second advice I would give you is when you're giving your MBA interviews, don't talk about which stream you major in or what is the specialization that you want to do it. Because it, I think, is good way to actually appear in an interview. Secondly, I don't think it is even you are just closing off many of the options that you have. Why do you want to do MBA? Because many people before they do MBA, unless you work in that particular field, you will not have a very clear idea about what marketing is. When I was entering my MBA, I didn't have any clear idea about what finance is, what are the kind of jobs that come in finance, what are the kind of jobs that come in marketing. I didn't know that. So I knew that if I enter an interview and tell them that, okay, I want to do an MBA because I want to get into finance, it just seems, it doesn't show me in good light because I'm taking a big decision without really much about that particular aspect. So unless you are sure about what marketing entails, what are the kind of careers that marketing entails, don't say in an interview that you want to do MBA in marketing. The second reason, which is a pragmatic reason as to why you shouldn't say the specialization in the interview, is because if say somebody who is interviewing you is from a finance background, some maybe is from finance, and you're telling them, no, no, I want to do an MBA in marketing, it might be off-putting to the user. He might feel that, okay, why am I conducting this interview if this guy is not even interested in finance? So again, that is not, you are only going to make enemies. Enemies might be a very strong word, but you are not going to make any friends by going too big on any particular specialization. Mudit KDA saying 54 marks in Dash Cat 7, my first mock. How is it according to you? I think Dash Cat 7 was definitely on the descriptive side. I uploaded a analysis video on Dash Cat 7. I would also want the split of 54. How much did you score in verbal? How much did you score in LRD? And how much did you score in overall? I think 54 is a good start. Try to increase it to 75, 70, 75, which is not very far away. From 54, 70 marks is just getting another 5 questions correct. Then I think it is a fantastic score. But 54, I think, for the first mock, I think is a very good start. Abhi is saying, sir, can you please tell me about dash cat analysis? What should I consider before analysis? The first thing I would tell you is before you watch the analysis that I make about dash cat, after every dash cat, I upload a video where I analyze that. I will explain what is the difficulty level of each of the sections. What are the kind of questions that should be attempted in LRDA? What are the sets to be attempted and what are the sets that should not be attempted? So I analyze the section in detail. This I do for every dashcard. So before you watch that, the first thing, the obvious thing that I want you to do is first attempt the dashcard on your own. Secondly, understand what are the sections that you did well, what are the sections that you have underperformed. Once you get a good sense of this, try to figure out why you underperformed in any particular section. And is it something that is happening to you often, or is it something that is happening to you only in a particular time? Once you have that good idea, once you assess, for example, in LRDA, that I made the right set selection or I made the wrong set selection, I did well in this set, maybe I wasted a lot of time. Once you understand where you went wrong, then look at my analysis. Then try to cross check whether the sets that you considered easy are the same sets that even I considered easy so that you will get a different opinion, a different data point about my inputs. That I think is how you should analyze the dashcards. Mudit KD is saying 27, 17, and 10 is equal to 54. What do you think? Yeah, Mudit, I think that is a very good score. I think you underperformed a little in quant. 10 marks in dashcard 7 quant, I think definitely on the lower side. The reason for that is because, like I mentioned, even though dashcard 7 quant is difficult, we try to ensure that there are definitely certain questions which are sitters. There are certain questions which are definitely on the easier side. So even if a section is difficult, you should be able to identify the easy sets, easy questions and answer them. వేముల జానకి రామ మణికంఠ సింగ్ ప్రౌడ్ ఆఫ్ యూ మారుతి గారు తెలుగు గై ఎట్ హైట్స్. యాహ్! థాంక్ యూ. యాహ్! నేను తెలుగు అండి. Sachin Kaushik is saying, "Sir, watching you live from Mika, Hyderabad." Baika Ahmedabad. Okay, great man. That's a very nice institute. We used to have friends and teachers who used to teach in Mecca, Ahmedabad. So I hope you're studying well there. Shubham Agarwal. Sir, please have one personalized PA course post IIM calls. No good guide like crack on the market. Shubham, one of the reasons we didn't enter the PA segment is because PA requires individual attention to a lot, to a much better degree. In the sense that because everybody's tell me about yourself is unique. That story, that profile is very unique in tell me about yourself. So that is the reason we feel that to deliver the amount of justice to that, we are not able to figure out what is the right processes that we should set up. Because if we have to take interviews or if we have to give real quality help to people, it is not very difficult for us to do it from an online basis. But what we can definitely do and what we are considering doing is, at least for the students who are able to Krakow, who are based out of Hyderabad, if they want to come and meet us before the that we'll be very happy to do. So anybody who is actually in Hyderabad, even for CAT or even for CAT, anytime you want to come and meet us, you can definitely come and meet us. You can check out our office address. If you are an enrolled student and if you want to come and have a chat with us about your CAT journey or about your interview journey, you are more than welcome to drop by our office any day in the evening, say at 4 o'clock or so. You can just drop by. We'll be there and we'll be more than happy to talk to you. Okay, guys, I'll answer a couple of questions. We have 50 people who are watching this stream live. Please do like the stream, guys. If you like the stream, it will be recommended to more people, so more people will join us. Abhi is saying, "Can I come to your offline place for these 3 months?" See, we have an office, man. It is an IT company. It has an IT office. There is not a lot of space for you to come inside. But if you want to come and talk to us, and if there are any issues or anything that you want to discuss with respect to your CAT strategy, then we'll be more than happy to sit and have a talk and make you better. But coming to our office to study will be a waste of your time because it is much better that you study at your home. And if you're facing an issue in any particular section, then I think we'll be more than happy to have a chat. Manohar Satyawada is saying Krakow will start Monday to Friday. Daily live class is available on WhatsApp. Manohar, we have actually started it from today. We have launched a crash course. This is for CAT for the last 3 months. Uh, in addition to everything that Krakow offers, which includes very good concept videos, daily targets, mock, study room, all of them. In addition to that, the Krakow crash course will also have access to daily live classes from Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. So the first live class happened today. I think it was on arithmetic. In this live class, for the first 30 minutes, the teacher is going to explain that concept, the shortcuts, all the important things that somebody should know in that concept, and use the remaining 30 minutes to solve questions from that particular concept so that a student gets complete understanding from basics to advanced topics. Kunal Shikri Singh, sir, what was your first package that you got from IIM Ahmedabad? I don't remember, man. It was a decent enough package, but not something which was like too high or too good. What you should remember is you should be going to do an MBA, not to get a very good job. Okay? A very good job should be a positive side effect. You should go to or do an MBA to build a good career. That I think is more important than the salary of the first job. I think it doesn't matter much. Okay, guys, I'll do one last question that I'll answer before. Sir, in VS, able to solve 3 to 4 most of the time, but no matter how hard I try, missing one question. How to improve? I think that is okay now. Because if you put too much pressure on yourself, if you try to go for perfection, I think you'll only panic and go worse. What I would recommend to do you to do is if you're getting 3 out of 4 questions correct, there is good try to improve the number of attempts. So are you attempting all the questions? Are you attempting all the answers? If you're attempting only 2 or 3 answers, try to attempt one more answer. Then your accuracy might come down a little because you will be giving lesser time per RC, but that is okay. Srisha is saying, sir, at what point did you decide to leave corporate job and opt for a startup? Very, very interesting question. I actually did a podcast where I explained my journey. about how I started up. To explain it in brief, I think that will be the last question for today. I left from IIM in 2011, and I worked in Singapore and Hong Kong for I think around 2.5 years. And but I never enjoyed my job. I think I felt that that job was not suited for me because it was not a job which was like intellectually stimulating. I found it to be very clerical, which basically anybody smart 10th standard student should be able to do. It didn't involve like a lot of finance or it didn't involve a lot of mathematics or quant, which is what I thought it would involve because I was told that a job in finance would be like super quantitative based. But it was not. It was very, very. So I lost motivation. I feel that it is not something that is very difficult. It is actually very, very easy. It was just that because I was based out of India, because I was based abroad, I'm earning in dollars. So it seemed like I'm making a lot of money, but I'm making money only because I'm working in some foreign country. I was converting the dollars into INR. So long story short, I was fairly frustrated. I was not super happy, and also used to see a lot of people get fired on the trading floor, where you also feel demotivated. Somebody you hang out with, somebody who you consider your friend, if they are getting fired regularly, then you feel very, very demotivated. And one fine day, even I got fired. At that time, I felt okay, maybe I should start up. I considered that for a few months. I also worked under a professor because I was also considering doing a PhD. But later, I realized that maybe I can't do a PhD. So a lot of months went into making the decision after getting fired whether I should do a PhD, whether I should start up in Hong Kong, whether I should start up in India. Many things were considered. Finally, I thought, okay, it is better for me to start up in India because I felt a lot more comfortable. In Hong Kong, I always felt it was a foreign country, so I never felt comfortable. And startup is a very intense journey, so you should be very, very comfortable. Um, at least many of the other things should fall in place so that you can put your full heart and soul into building a company. Where I felt if I'm doing that in Hong Kong, I'd be super at peace. So I thought I'll start up in India. We came back to India and started crafting. So that is the long story. Thanks for asking. So in general, anybody who has any issues with their CAT preparation, uh, I'm always interested in interacting with students, and I'll try to answer any of the questions that you have. Please just do comment below this video. Whatever issue you're facing with your CAT preparation, I'll be more than happy to look at it and answer to the best of my ability.